A serious health scare for Pewaukee native J.J. Watt.
Watt revealed he went into atrial fibrillation and had to have his heart shocked back into rhythm Thursday. And Watt was emotional when asked about it after Sunday's game.
You ever think about not playing today?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's been tough, you know. It was just weird. Just weird. I have a baby on the way.
And joining us now to talk about the condition is Dr. Jorge Saucedo with the Medical College of Wisconsin. And first and foremost, what is AFib and why is this a problem?
Well, thank you for having me here today. Atrial fibrillation is an arrhythmia of the heart where the upper chambers of the heart start quivering. That usually happens when we grow a little bit older, people that have hypertension. There are about 5 million Americans that have atrial fibrillation. Now, the problem with that is that as the upper chambers of the heart quiver, they quiver very, very, very rapidly. And so the heart rate can be a fast heart rate, irregular and fast. That can cause heart failure if it's left unattended, number one, but also, particularly in elder individuals, can be associated with stroke. So those are the two things that we are worried the most: the stroke risk associated with it and the fact that it can cause heart failure.
And J.J. said he did not know what caused the irregular heartbeat. Are there any obvious symptoms or signs to look out for AFib?
Well, many people do feel it. Again, you feel the heart quivering, a lot of palpitations, beating very regular, beating very fast. Sometimes people feel short of breath, fatigue, dizzy. Some people can even faint, particularly if the heart is beating at a very, very rapid rate. What causes it? Again, about 5 million Americans have it. Very often it's hypertension. It's associated with age. We don't see it that often in young athletes, but it can happen as well. The good thing is that, once you shock the heart, you bring it back to its normal rhythm, the heart can continue to beat normally for many, many years to come because JJ is young, etc. He will probably not need blood thinners, and he will have a perfectly normal life.
I guess, can you talk a little bit about how to diagnose this? Because if you have what feels like those heart palpitations, which I had suffered from before and had to go through testing, at what point do you go into a doctor's office and say something's not right, or is this an emergency type of situation most often?
No, most often it is not usually a real emergency. Sometimes, again, people can live with atrial fibrillation for many, many years, chronic atrial fibrillation. Sometimes the only thing that we do is give medications to slow down the heart rate a little bit, despite the fact that it is irregular. So what people feel, it is not only the palpitation, but the heart beating really, really fast, very irregular, that is associated with shortness of breath and fatigue, for instance. Then you go to your doctor does a physical examination and realizes that your heart is truly irregular, does an EKG and realizes that you may be on atrial fibrillation or not. If the problem is very, very chronic and people can live with atrial fibrillation again for many years, we just may give them a blood thinner and so forth. But if it happens for the first time, we more often than not want to bring the heart back to its normal rhythm. And we do that just by shocking the heart with electrical current. And the heart goes back to the normal rhythm, etc. And that takes care of the problem.
Dr. Jorge Saucedo, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon and some great insight as well.
Thank you.